let's start off the conversation on the issue of the Bolgatanga Institute and Technical Institute, where they have to close the school down. I spoke to the principal yesterday. Okay. The understanding is that the children were hurt. Apparently, before the examinations, they had gotten the questions. So they had told some of their colleagues to go to some platforms, draw those questions, answer them, they walk out, pick the answers in camp. So there was a hint, and indeed the NIB was there to ensure that they got some hint. Yeah. So they came through, and they were angry, and so they went on rampage, distracting school property and all of that. I understand also from him that the few investigations they've done, some heads of departments and some teachers are also accomplices. And this worries me. The trend is a growing trend, and it's not too exciting. There's also a mention of one of the schools, I'll find out, also happening. They also went on the same rampage because of the poor quality of their food. It's become a growing trend where they take the law into their own hands and distract school properties. What do you make of this, sir?
Yes, first of all, good morning, and good morning to our viewers. I've heard some of the various reports so far, and the impression I get is that, yes, like you're saying, there was a report or allegation that some of these papers had leaked. Yeah. And it appeared as though it was an organized, it wasn't just some leak that had leaked, but a leakage that had been well organized, and the students were actually benefiting from the leakage process, and whereby questions are being answered for them, and they are, like a whole exercise for the school. So I think the security apparatus got wind, came, and as it were, ascertained that it was actually true. So the next morning, some suspects in the whole program were detained. Then the students got angry. Now, the anger and the rioting that ensued had other elements in it. The students complained about some shortcomings even in their teaching. Okay. Some subjects they hadn't been treated at all. They hadn't had certain teachers teach certain subjects. The food was very poor for some of them. And they felt that the headmaster had been a bit too strict with them. So all these things boiled up and led to what happened, to the extent that they actually sought to attack the headmaster himself. Went to his house to look for him, vandalized the place, caused a lot of damage. Some farm he has next door, backyard farm, they went and destroyed the place. So that is what happened. It's most unfortunate. And it appears as though that for the brief period that riot ensued, it was quite intense. So the authorities had no option but to immediately close down the school and ensure that the students vacated the campus. To make sure that it did not recur maybe later in the day or during the night or anything like that. So that's how it happened. It's most unfortunate.
My point is that it probably because when it had happened in other instances, under other circumstances, we had not taken action against the students. Again, for me, I am of the view that what had happened in, is it Kumasi, I guess?
The Islamic school.
Absolutely. Some students should have taken the fault. Some teachers should have also, so that it sends a signal. Because again, and these also happened, the same thing happened at Boku Technical Institute, because the students also demonstrated to register their displeasure. And once it happens in one school, and there's also that seeming, or those circumstances, it will boil up and it will keep happening.
No, I don't think if the students had demonstrated, it would have become an issue. I think it was just a demonstration. Take what happened in Kumasi.
Yes.
It was after the students went and blocked the main road. They blocked the main road, caused trouble.
Yes.
And any effort to get them to clear the blockade that they had caused wasn't working. So the police came in, and maybe the police didn't manage it well.
Right.
So now the grievances of the students became a secondary matter, and rather the police poor handling of the situation rather became the issue.
Right.
In the case of Boku, the students, yes, they were not happy. They were protesting, but it was a level of destruction. You see, the damage they were causing.
That's Bogatanga, actually.
Sorry, Bogatanga.
Yeah.
Bogatanga. That then became the issue. And in this case, police weren't called. They just closed the school and ensured that the students left the campus. So that's the difference. It's unfortunate that you see there are pent-up problems. Yes, we know that the feeding situation across board is not the best. That in itself is source of tension. So these situations have to be very well managed.
By who? School? Is it the school management? Because it's as though they don't have grips over this particular situation.
Well, you see, I mean, if I don't know how many the school population, what the school population is, but if hundreds of students are on a rampage, how many security personnel would you need to contain them? That is the situation. You see, I don't know if the security, national security people could have helped the school authorities to manage the situation in such a way that it would have preempted all these actions and giving them an opportunity to manage the situation better, so I didn't get to this point.
I see.
But it looks like maybe they were overtaken. Nobody expected the students to behave the way they did. So they may have been overtaken by the behavior of the students, and with the consequences, they had no option but to close down the school.
I'm asking this because the school management, and for almost all of these issues, there are, drops of the issue of food, whether poor quality or the shortage. As I stated, Boku had that, and that's why they demonstrated. And it's out of the control of school management.
That's correct.
It has to do again with these issues. Would you want the proposed or the much talked about review to happen now, so that we go in before it escalates and gets into?
You see, we're talking about two different things.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's by extension. I'm just dovetailing.
Well, as for the challenges are that one, the food situation is not the best. I don't know what the situation is currently. Last week we got reports that food was being dispatched to the schools. I don't know whether they haven't gotten their share.
Last week I'm not too sure, because when I spoke last week, so we've heard that report. Some schools have said they've gotten some.
Yeah, some have got, some have got. And also the students were also lamenting the shortcomings in their teaching. Some subjects had not been treated. They were being asked to write exams. Some parts of the syllabus had not been covered. I mean, the teachers went on strike for some short time and all that. So they had their own issues, but that did not justify the level of distraction. If they want to demonstrate and make their case, fine. Nobody would have stopped them. But it is where they went beyond that. And actually, no authority is going to accept that. Nobody, no matter what their problems were. Now, you're not happy with the food, and you go and damage the dining hall. There was destruction in the dining hall and the pantry where the food is prepared.
Corporal punishment is out. I don't know how many schools still cane their students, especially senior high school. Then also is the case of people saying it's probably the free SHS. There is no, you see, when you are going to school and they say, your mother tells you, you see how much I'm giving, how much I'm being paid, or I'm being paid and I'm going to pay your school fees. There's that warning and a bit of caution to want to go spend your time well over there. Today, they understand, we'll go, and there are, you know, past questions, there are promises of from the head teachers as well. So we'll get you the answers and all of that. This entire, that's why people are still calling for the review as quick as possible.
Well, you see, review is one thing. School management is another matter. If the school is, there are so many schools. Many schools are having the same challenges of food, of shortcomings in some of their teaching, etc. It's not all the students who are on rampage.
And so, it's not all of them that we heard, indeed.
Yes. And disciplinary action is being taken where necessary, whether it's against staff or against students. It's happening all over the country for various reasons.
Sure?
Oh, yeah. It's normal in the management of schools.
No,
no. There are cases that our headmasters in their offices get cases every day, one problem or the other, involving a student or a staff member, and they are having to solve them. It's part of their job. It happens all the time. So it's ongoing. What I'm saying is that we have had some exceptional situations. The Bolgatanga school is not the only school that is having challenges with food. It's not the only school that is having challenges with their teaching.
I see.
It's not the only school that there may have been a suspicion of some leakage. But have they all demonstrated? No.